It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On Hot 1025fm.com.
What up? What up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody? I told y'all. Y'all already know what's going on. It's your favorite comedian, Joe King, guys. Welcome to Laugh Therapy. Welcome to Laugh Therapy. And I know some of you guys are super excited. I've already gotten your messages, your texts. Y'all are ready to get into this Cat Williams conversation, y'all. And I'm ready to get right into it, too. We watched it again. This is like my third time going through it, not fully through it, because it's like a damn near 3 hour thing.
Yeah,
and it's like 246 minutes or something like that.
Yes, it's nuts.
So I didn't watch it in full 3 times, but I definitely took some notes. I wanna get some of you guys' opinions. Some of y'all probably ain't gonna like mine, and I'm cool with it. And I already decided I'm cool with it. Let me go ahead and come up out my jacket.
Oh, you getting comfortable?
Yeah, let me get comfy in here, because I see some of you guys talking about it on Instagram and whatnot, and I'm trying to think of where I want to start with it. For starters, I know there's a conversation right now on whether or not y'all think he's telling the truth, what's true and what's not, and I personally feel like, just like with any story, there's your truth, their truth, and the actual truth lies somewhere in the middle. I feel like he spoke in riddles.
A lot,
yeah.
A lot.
I think he's spoken riddles a lot. I think there were moments in his interview where you could tell he was talking like he was speaking to comics only, and comics could kind of differentiate, but regular people looking in on that aren't seeing where there's, a little bit of elaboration or a little bit of over-exaggeration or whatnot, just because it's, I'm storytelling versus that's just a flat-out fucking lie. It's a real fine line. You feel me? When we're painting our details in a story. So I picked up on a few times where he was painting a story and he couldn't just answer that particular question.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, there was a story for everything.
Yeah,
it was so much shade too.
There were so many stray bullets.
Not to other comedians and other people in the industry. It was shade to Shannon too.
He called that man ugly to his face.
Yo, the shade to Shannon, I'm like, damn, Shannon, you don't even realize he throwing shade to you?
All the shade. What was his? You have an allegiance to losers, and that's so. I was like, ooh, bars. Ouch, bars, man. When he came in with that should hurt. That should have hurt his chest a little bit. He was like, I don't have an allegiance to him. Hold on, sir. I need you to say that with a little bit more conviction, because he just played in your face and with your life.
Yeah, and some of the things he was saying and the way he was answering it was like, well, you had him on your show. Mm-hmm. You should have asked them that. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know this.
How was I supposed to know it was a lie? I wasn't there.
Yes.
Like, as an interviewer, I wasn't on Friday, nigga. I wasn't there when all of this happened with y'all. So I have no choice but to take it at face value if somebody who was there and who is a part of it says that this is what happened.
I totally agree.
Right?
I was just like, what was Shannon supposed to do?
I think Shannon handled it very well, though.
Because
for a minute, he couldn't even get no words in.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like the first 35 minutes, Shannon maybe said 10 words.
Yeah. He kept going, but And Cat was not letting it. He was like, nah, and I got another thing to say.
And
another thing for you bitches. God damn it. What was your take on his Ricky Smiley story? Do you believe Ricky Smiley was first cast as Money Mike?
That part is believable, that maybe they thought about casting him first, but where Ricky Smiley said that they just switched roles, I don't believe that. Because Cat's got the makings of a pimp, right? So I don't believe that they just switched roles. Maybe they considered him for Money Mike at first, but Ricky Smiley ain't nowhere
Smiley's played
near
a pimp before, hasn't he? I feel like I remember him wearing a suit and having one of them little perm slicky things down with a hat on in some show.
Well, you let Cat tell it. He didn't only play women.
Facts. Oh, he came for next, honey.
Yeah,
he came for next.
As far as even with the whole Cat putting in his contract in other movies that if Ricky Smiley was going to be in the movie, he had to play a woman. I mean, he got the receipts. He was in the, what's the movie with the church?
Any Given Sunday?
No, it wasn't Any Given Sunday. It was something.
The football one?
No. It's where Ice Cube and, was it D-Ray, went to go rob the church? And Ricky Smiley was in a dress in that movie.
Yeah. He played Bernice or Bernadise or whatever the fuck her name is.
He got the receipts.
Well, he has proof that
I think there's some
he has played women. I don't know. It doesn't. Being someone who has had to sign contracts and stuff before, it does not ring true in my spirit that you can have in your contract that in order for someone else to get a role, they have to do something that they wouldn't agree with. Because then I'm trying to imagine how that conversation goes. So you have this conversation with them and say, I want it in my contract that in order to work with him, he has to wear a dress. What happens when you go to Ricky? Do you say, hey, in order for you to get this role, Cat Williams says you have to have a dress? Or do you just not mention it to Ricky at all, that that's what happened, and you go to Ricky and say, hey, we want you to play this role, but as Bernice Jenkins, and Ricky thinking he up?
That's probably how it went.
Right? Because I'm like, but then again, that contradicts with what he said as far as who just switches out people and switches out stuff when a script is already written. Because you just said they couldn't say, oh, he was Money Mike, but you know what? You do it better. Let's switch that out. If they wanted Ricky Smiley and not Bernice Jenkins, Ricky Smiley, who he plays that character, if they wanted a Ricky Smiley-like character, and Cat was like, I'm not working with him unless he wears a dress, then in that situation, what would keep them from saying, okay, then we'll get Kevin Hart to do it? Because according to you, all the movies that came across your desk ended up going to somebody who was... Like, it contradicts a little. You see where I'm going?
But that movie was out before...
Right, but Hollywood hasn't changed. Just the characters have. Hollywood didn't change, so it would have just been somebody else. Why wouldn't they have gone and gotten... Scruncho, I don't fucking know. You feel me? Just thinking of other short black comedians who probably were in movies and popping at that time. It just contradicts to me with you saying Hollywood doesn't just switch shit out like that, for them to say, oh, you don't want Ricky Smiley to just play Ricky Smiley like we want Ricky Smiley to just play Ricky Smiley. We have this script that was written for Ricky Smiley, but you want him to wear a dress? Cool. Hey, Ricky, do you mind playing Bernice G? That don't seem like something Hollywood does.
Well, he also said, damn, what did he also say? I lost my train of thought. Dang, I lost it.
So, and again, I'm not saying that he is for sure lying. I'm just saying it seems like if he either really, really, really had some pull back then with Hollywood, which would be hard, because if you had that much pull in Hollywood, how were you then canceled and blackballed? I just feel like there are some things that we didn't get enough information on with the riddles for us to be able to really pinpoint on some of the things. He didn't talk straight,
not once. There was not a yes or a no. Nothing.
Facts. He asked that man if he was homeless, and he stared into space for like 7 seconds before he answered, and he was like, this is what was happening at that time. What? No, sorry, yes or no? Did you or did you not have a home? What happened?
Yeah, in his storytelling, that's probably how it ended up being 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but in his storytelling, kind of admitted to being homeless.
Yeah, I was like, all he did was describe how he was homeless, which is not what the question was. The question was, were you homeless during the time of the movie? And he painted a picture of his teeth getting out by his son and him having to use his money to pay for his teeth. So he stayed in a trailer with his family, stayed in the movie trailer with his family. Yeah. While he was shooting that movie. Well, sir, that would equate to homelessness to me as far as you not having a roof over your head. You could have just said, yeah, and then told the story. But he never just admitted anything outright. There were no yeses and nos. There was nothing concrete at all. He just came and ripped heads off shoulders and was like, fuck all you hoes.
But if we are going to address the beginning of the interview, I think most of what he said at the very beginning was probably gospel.
Okay.
Coming at everybody's necks that he came at.
Yeah, as far as who in particular?
When he was talking about Cedric.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he said that shit with his chest. Yeah, he said that shit with his chest. He said
about Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Obviously, what you call it?
I was trying to figure out what their wives did. Why their wives had to be ugly faced, light skinned women. I was like, damn, they ain't did nothing. They ain't said nothing. Like he said, they ain't done an interview in 20 years and they caught all them strays.
Faison Love be out here talking cash shit about everybody and everything. I'm surprised he didn't catch more strays. Yeah. But he said he told 90% of the truth and the rest was interpretation of events. I would say 75% truth, because that nigga said he can run a sub for what was it?
4.16 or something like that.
Yeah. Come on, nigga. You the fastest nigga in the world. Come on now. And then I don't know if anybody else caught it, but he said, "I'm over 100 years old." What the fuck?
He said, "I'm
did nobody else catch that?"
Years old. He did. And those are the things that I was saying. I think in some cases he said some things that I feel like he was speaking to comics on. You know, we just have this way of assuming that everybody else gets that when we're in those moments. Because clearly, I think, clearly he knows he is not 100 years old in this realm, right? Like in this life. But yeah, he said some outlandish fucking shit. He said he read 3,000 books a year from the ages 8 to 12.
My nigga, that's almost 10 books a day. What do you...
I did a little research because that would have been, I'm assuming, late 70s, late 80s, that he was those ages. And the most popular toys back then were Smurf bears, Cabbage Patch Kids, Rubik's Cubes, and electronic toys like robots and laser tag that came out. So I could see how somebody could be real interested in fucking books. Because what? what? Your idea of a game was a Rubik's Cube. I can see why y'all, I feel like my mom's generation should be way more creative than they are. What? You had to use your imagination. They didn't have time for
fun. They was working.
That shit crazy.
They didn't have time for fun. They was working.
Yeah, yeah. According to him. Yeah, saying at 13 years old, you're in Florida boosting radios and whatnot, so you had $2,000 a day in your pocket, but was still homeless because you couldn't get an apartment or anything like that.
I had questions about that whole entire thing. First of all, how are you moving about life as a 12, 13-year-old and ain't nobody stopped you and questioned you like, hey, little kid, where's your parents?
Facts. Because I'm like, this has to be, 80s, early 90s if he's saying he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Because he's only 52. My mom's 52. So yeah, you...
Late 80s?
Yeah. No, that wasn't that goddamn long ago, y'all, to where our communities were just like ignoring, like, nah, bro.
Who's
somebody
letting
been
a 13-year-old come in a comedy club?
Whose fucking child is this? Whose goddamn child is this, right? So yeah, so it's just some things that seemed a little far-fetched. However, with that being said, and with my love for Cat Williams so much, I can't say that I've ever known him to really be a liar.
But then so this interview, you gotta have your parents' signature. Mm-hmm. You gotta have.
But he said that's why it didn't work.
But he said he got to go into basic training, but got kicked out because he didn't eventually show proof of ID.
That's believable. For me, that's believable as a
But
military
don't you gotta
personnel.
have a parent signature or something?
Now. Back
Oh,
then,
maybe back
I don't
then.
know, because they were irresponsible as fuck with my ID. When I was joining in 2010, goddamn it, they were responsible with my ID, and they were like, "You have time to fill it in." And I literally went and refiled for my ID and stuff while I was on post. I was already in and doing my stuff and all that. They just took me to get a new ID. I was working before then, so I could have made up a name. Shit, I don't remember my social, like if I wanted to, but I probably would have gotten kicked out if they couldn't have verified me. So I that part to me was believable, that you could go in and be like,
I thought the military
I don't have my
protocols
ID. He
were-
said my family's on the way and they got my ID, blah, blah, blah. And somebody being like, oh, okay, well, they going to be here in a couple weeks. Cool. And he can start working. And then when they didn't show up, they're like, hey, nigga, you got to go. What you?
Yeah, but then you say, nigga, you gotta go. You just release this child?
Yeah. Well, he didn't say that they just released him. They probably put him out and told him that wasn't going to work. But because he didn't finish the story, he just says, no, that wasn't going to work. So I moved on. So you don't know if they tried to hold him and he ran. You don't know none of that. That's what I'm saying. The nigga talked in riddles. And didn't finish nothing. None of his points except the insults.
Oh, he finished
He
them up.
finished them motherfuckers. But he didn't finish none of the stories. Even the story about his dad. When Shannon started asking him questions, it went in a completely different
Oh, it was
direction. And we
such a
was like,
riddle.
what the fuck happened?
It was such a riddle.
He was like, no, you don't get to tell me that I'm having sexual acts and put me out of fellowship when I say I didn't do it. And you tell me that you spoke to God and he told you I did.
Huh?
Yeah, what? So I was like, so
say
your
what?
parents accused you of being sexually active and you were not being sexually active. And then your parents claimed that God told them you were being sexually active. And you were like, oh, you just lied on God. And that turned into a physical altercation is what I gathered. And from
With
that
his
physical
daddy.
altercation, you decided I'm going to go ahead and just leave because I don't want to fight you no more.
Because he got his ass whooped.
At 13?
Because he got his ass beat. He said near to death,
Yeah,
didn't he?
he did. He did. Them were his words.
And he said, it's either this way or that way. No, what?
Who? What y'all think? We looking at y'all's comments, fam. What y'all think? You'd be surprised how people let their kids go. From my understanding, it sounds like he maybe have been a foster kid. I ain't even consider that.
I mean, he didn't tell that part of the
Right.
story.
The
So
riddle.
how
He
can
didn't
we
finish none of the
infer that?
stories.
All he told us about Florida was that he talked to homeless people every day about them in their misfortunes with drugs. That's why he's never done a hard drug in his entire life.
He did finish that story, so I stand corrected. He did indeed finish that story. I didn't understand the point of that story, but he did finish it. Yeah. I felt like he kept trying to bring Shannon into his world of logic by answering questions with questions.
Yeah.
But the questions didn't
Why
make
didn't you
sense.
ask Cedric the Entertainer that?
Yeah. As Shannon asked him something like, how many times do you need to do a joke before you haven't mastered? And he was like, how many times do you have sex with a woman before you don't want to do it no more? Nigga, what? Just answer the fucking question.
And y'all, men, if y'all are listening, can y'all please break that one down to me?
What?
Because if the sex is good, you're gonna keep doing it,
And he said
and
that.
if it's not, you wouldn't want to do it again. So I guess that's what
That's
he
what.
meant.
Yeah, I was like, that's what he's saying about the
I
joke.
just broke it down.
Yes, but it's still a riddle. It didn't answer the fucking question. There was no reason to answer the question that way, was my point. I was like, it wasn't that I didn't understand it, it's that I didn't understand why it was necessary. Answer the question.
Now, let me ask you this as a comedian. Do you think there's ever bad jokes or just jokes you haven't developed properly?
No, there are definitely bad jokes.
I'm talking about that you have personally. Now, I know other people have bad jokes. I'm talking about you. Because you take your joke writing very serious and everything has to be developed. Do you think you have written, in your perspective, a not so good joke?
I
Or
don't
is it
think I
just a
have any
joke that
bad
hasn't
jokes
been developed?
now. So all of the jokes that I have now were jokes that were just underdeveloped. And as I've continued to develop them and nurture my craft, they've just continued to get better. But I look back at tape when I first started where people were telling me I was killing and I was doing amazing, especially to be new. But I look back at some of those tapes excuse me, I look back at some of those tapes now and I'm like, damn, like, why did I tell that joke like that? You know? So I don't feel like any of my jokes personally were ever bad jokes. I was just new and I made them better. But I have seen some just poorly written, poorly executed, poorly performed, just badass jokes from other comics.
But is that people that's just not funny? And should pick
that
a different
joke wasn't
profession?
funny. I'm sure they could be funny if they wrote better jokes. That joke just wasn't funny. Yeah, I'm sure they could be funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking your perspective.
Just because to some of those same people who have asked me to rework or rewrite one of their jokes or something like that. And I'm able to do it, and it's fucking hilarious. So it's not necessarily, it was just your joke sucked.
And then Shannon asked Kat if he had ever been booed before on stage. Mm-hmm. And Kat, not answering a question straight up, have you ever dropped a pass?
Right. It was just a whole lot of that. I was like, bro. And it was in such
all he needed
Virgo
was Riddler makeup.
It was in such Virgo nature because none of you hoes, and I know Virgo's getting ready to be upset. Y'all about to be in y'all's chest, but y'all always feel like you have to be the most intelligent person in the room and you want to challenge people and make them think. Right? But the problem is sometimes you could just answer the fucking question and it would make you appear more intelligent than you asking a, question or giving that retort would. You could have just simply said, yes, actually, I was homeless, but let me tell you how I got there, and then brought us into your world. Instead of doing, this long dramatic pause and then telling us a story that makes it seem like you didn't want to answer the question.
I also think his interview was a little bit condescending to Shannon because of the way he stepped on and was like, I think he felt like, yo, you let all these people come on here
and talk shit about me
and talk shit and tell lies. Yeah, I'm gonna come on your show, but I'm gonna run this shit and I'm gonna show you.
It definitely gave a little. You remember when Omarosa went on Wendy Williams?
Hell no. I never watched none of that. What happened? Tell us about it.
Well, radio people, if y'all remember when Omarosa went on Wendy Williams and they had beef, right? And they were trying to be cordial with each other, but also when Omarosa came on the show and Wendy was like, yes, Omarosa, doing her intro or whatever and giving her accolades. And then she went in and she's like, okay, so I finally got you on the show. And like as soon as Amaretto opened her mouth, she was coming at Wendy's fucking throat because of something Wendy had said. And she was like throwing shade and all of this. And basically what ended up happening was Wendy was like, she was like, because you're nobody and something. And Wendy was like, but you're on my show. Was basically what she was saying. Like, why did you come here if you felt that type of way? Right? You're sitting on my platform right now to tell your side of this bullshit ass story. And you wouldn't nobody would care about your side of the story if you weren't on my platform. Right? So, put some respect on my name is basically what Wendy was trying to say. I'm paraphrasing. But, I kind of feel like Kat came with that energy.
Yes.
Like he came on like, I appreciate your show. I respect your show and the fact that people come on here to tell the truth. He said, you've created a space where people can come and be honest. And then proceeded to pick apart how everybody who was on the show has been dishonest.
Yeah. And so then told him he was going to grow the show, which he did. But it was
6.5 million views in 24 hours.
It's controversial. Now let's talk about some of the questionable things that we were discussing not too long ago. Let's talk about some of them questionable things.
I think he stated a lot of opinion as fact while trying to shoot some of his shade. For instance, he says Cedric the Entertainer's comedy is so bad that he does not have a special on Netflix or on Tubi. And Cedric the Entertainer actually has 2 Netflix specials that I know of because I've watched them on Netflix.
We watched them together.
Yeah, I was like, he's got like Live and what's it called? Live in the Ville is on Netflix, and then he's got I don't know the name of the other. He's got 2 on Netflix currently that you guys can go watch, and I encourage you to because he is funny. That Bominicious joke cracks me up every goddamn time. That country Bominicious joke, because it's something that I could see happening to me. Being younger. And again, if you guys haven't watched it, then go watch it. I personally, I don't have Ced in my top 10.
No.
But he's funny. 100% he's funny. I don't have him in my top 10, though. I did have to admit that. I saw Michael Blackson had Cedric the Entertainer in his top 10, and I was just kind of like... Maybe he big in Africa, like
But
like
Michael
in other
Blackson
countries.
also put himself in the top 10, didn't
That's
he?
true. He did.
So
yeah.
But hold on now, before we move forward,
Michael Jackson funny as fuck,
I
though.
saw Michael Blackson live, and he almost made me have not a heart attack, an asthma attack. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say
Nigga funny. Yeah.
he not
Dead
funny.
ass.
Michael Blackson is hilarious. So I just want to put that out there, but he not top 10 though.
You think Cat Williams told Michael to go buy a school in Africa?
the nigga read 3,000 books 4 years in a row? So probably yeah.
And they said, I told him to go, you got to go buy a school in Africa because it's comedians in Africa.
What?
Oh. And Michael was just like, you right, mother sucker. I'm going to just go on over here and build me a school. Like, it's far-fetched. I'm not saying it didn't happen. But there probably was a conversation. And again, I feel like he's telling his truth. I don't necessarily feel like he's lying. I think he's telling his truth. So if you come to me and you tell me you're considering it or something like that, and I encourage you and tell you, no, don't consider it. That's something you dead ass need to do because you're a bomb ass comic. And if you're saying that you know, the king of African comedy, then nigga, of course you need to buy a school. Like, yeah, 100% I support that. That's different than you coming up with the idea yourself. Right? So I feel like he's presenting something like that, like maybe a conversation like that, as though it were his idea in the first place, when it could have been just a conversation
Just
where
like
he found
he said
out.
he told them to get Brandon T. Jackson for Big Mama's house too. He said he suggested it
and
twice.
they went and got him.
He said he suggested it twice. Maybe it did happen.
I'm not saying it didn't.
Yeah, maybe it did happen.
I'm just saying, like he said, win in Black Hollywood.
All right, now let's discuss the thing that had our eyebrows raised.
What was that?
Now, I did not know he had 10 kids. So when I heard 10 kids, I was like, dang, I wonder how many baby mamas he got. With 10 kids. Yeah. Come to find out, he adopted 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he got 3 of his own. Mm-hmm. How do we...
his reasoning was a little weird to me. When he went back and he said, like I said, I had to leave my house at 13 and leave my brothers behind. So when I became the richest man in the world, cough, pause, when I became the richest man in the world, why wouldn't I? You know, I have the opportunity to go to kids. But it didn't explain, like, why?
And he could be doing a good thing with them. We just know there's a bunch of bad people in the world.
That's not even where I'm at. I definitely 100% believe that man, if he adopted 7 children, that he loves them with his entire heart. He is helpful and that he is trying to be the greatest father that he can fucking be. I would never, come for that particular entity. You know how I am when it comes to parenting. I don't need nobody's opinion on what the fuck I'm doing with my kids. They're brilliant. They're great. Thank you kindly. And I'm not going to talk to you about what the fuck you're doing with your kid unless they are being harmed. Right? I don't think that it could be something that makes the children feel good when you're I don't know. It seemed real muddy in there. In that particular story, it seemed like he was trying to bring us somewhere with his mindset of like, I'm going to help more children because I couldn't help my siblings or I couldn't stay for my siblings, which is commendable. But how he got to that story didn't align with that, the way he went into it, if that makes sense. It seemed like I'm still trying to paint myself in this particular light without just coming straight out and telling you guys I'm a good dude. I'm going to just keep telling random stories that paint me as a good dude and leaving out the bits that complete the story is what it felt like to me. Like, I'm going to just drop this bit of truth here so that you guys can feel good about that. I adopted 7 kids because of that. And it's just like, that's drastic, right? that's quite, that's quite the leap, bruh.
And because he was like, 7? They got mamas, they got daddies.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So exactly what do you mean by you adopted them, right? And he didn't go into any detail like that. He just said, I'm the richest man in the world, so I can.
And then Shannon goes on to say, so have you ever been married? And he was like, no, I've never been married and I've never cohabitated and I've thought about it and I'm open to it. But then proceeded to say he got 3 women living with him because he keeps alluding to the gay stuff that other people do in Hollywood. He was like, that's how P. Diddy lives. He got niggas scratching their balls and cooking his food. I want women licking my blunts. And because his blunt roller, he came up with the blunt roller idea.
Right.
He want women to lick his blunts. He want women to cook his food.
He want to see women talking in the corner. It was...
I understand his mindset, but it just sounds like you got a harem.
Yeah, and then you utilizing those same women to go and drop random bits of money off to comics. It definitely, it gave Pimp called Slip back.
Yes.
It did. And as a comic who's in that grind, not to say that that's not something that will be appreciated. You feel me? If some random woman came up to me and gave me money and just walked off, thanks for the tip. You feel me? I probably wouldn't ask no damn questions.
Nope.
Thank you. And put it in my pocket. You can catch a falling star and put it in my pocket. I'm going on. Hey, thank you for the blessing. It was just I don't know. It was giving weird. It was giving...
I forgot to disclaim all of this by saying I love Cat.
I absolutely love Cat Williams.
I love Cat. And he is in my top 5, so there's that as well.
Thanks.
But
Cat Williams is fucking hilarious.
Money, you came out here strong. And
who else he come for? Steve Harvey.
The man, what he say? Man unit. Why he tell that man business like that?
Well, I feel like some of us suspected that shit wasn't.
Back in the day on the Steve Harvey show, I did not know that was a man
that
unit.
Shit looked like hair cake. It looked like hair cake on them motherfuckers. It just looked like you know them
old school yellow sponges? They just molded it to the top of his head.
But I loved Mr. Hightower. You
feel
me?
Yeah.
Absolutely loved him. But I did think his hair was fake.
He said he stole Mark Curry's whole shit.
After he said it made so much sense. I was like, damn.
But
hanging with Mr. Cooper, I used to.
I think that's how he reeled us all in is by saying a bunch of truthful shit that was
prove. Like intertwined with
embellishment.
Some of his embellishments.
And, what's the word I'm looking for when it's over embellished? I said it last night. Damn. Thank you for agreeing with me. Definitely top 5 with you.
I think the word you're looking for is lying. I think that might be did I get it? No, but I feel like it was a reach on some of the statements. But again, like I said, I've never known Cat to be a liar, so I feel like there was a lot of truth just like embedded in
the lies.
I want you to know some of this over here too. Like, let's just see how far I can push it. But I feel like he kind of 50 cent some of that shit.
The Illuminati thing with
he came out real bold with that.
Why?
I was like, not Luda catching strays too.
Why are we talking about Luda?
He said the Illuminati called me. They did.
No, he said, yeah, we had the Illuminati meeting, and it was 2 of us in there, and they told us they would give us one of us $200 million for 20 movies.
I said, this is starting to sound real Orlando Bloomish, my nigga.
When he said he gave me the blue block.
Right, she gave give me that.
That gawk. But yeah, he said that him and Luda went to an Illuminati meeting, and whoever they chose was going to come out with $200 million, but they got to make 20 movies, and they had to cut their hair and the sideburns.
Mm-hmm. They couldn't do the little.
Go look at Luda.
We all questioned why he cut his afro too. We all was like, "What the fuck?"
It's
not
gone.
You got rid of the southern cornrows. What's going on?
Did he make that up to fit what Luda looks like now, or is that shit true?
Right.
It's just so
Is there
outlandish.
any interview where
it could be
he's
true.
said it before? Because there's some things that Cat Williams has said before that he's just bringing back, and he's like, "No, I've always stayed true to that." Like the Cedric the Entertainer took his joke, he's stayed true to that for years. So him bringing it back up later, it's like it makes sense that he's standing on that, right? Some of this is completely new information, and it's like I wonder, because I haven't seen any interviews where he has said some of these things before.
He said it's the age of truth.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he said it's the age of truth.
He compared himself to Jesus multiple times as well. I don't know if anybody else recognized
And he
that.
said he wanted to be God's friend. Is that noble or crazy?
I don't know. I say I'm God's favorite, and people can believe what the fuck they want, but I
That's
know it
different.
to be true.
When you say you God's friend, that means y'all on the same level and same entity. Well, I guess the God is in you, so you can be your own friend. However
He said
you
we
want to
peers,
interpret
homie.
it.
How are y'all feeling? What parts of the interviews? I'm looking at we're looking at the comments, and then of course you guys know you. Oh wait, I don't even see the phone. I was gonna say you guys know you guys can call in.
I think the phone is right
lying.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you guys know you guys can call in. Numbers at the end of the screen. For those of you who are listening but not watching, number is 702-551-5261. That's 702-551-5261. We would love to hear you guys' opinion on this Cat Williams interview. What parts did you think were true? What parts did you think were bullshit? Did you think he was telling the truth the whole time? Do you think he was bullshitting the whole time? What was your favorite part of the interview? I still say your allegiance to losers was it was a bar. It was definitely a bar. What would you say was your favorite part of the interview? Or the part that made you go the most?
The whole first 35 minutes, I was just clutching my pearls.
I think him coming for Kevin Hart.
When he said Cedric the Entertainer looked like
a walrus.
A walrus.
Yeah,
He
just
said-
arms. They couldn't even get his arms off his stomach. I was like,
God,
oh my God.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
And what he say? The new phrase is the fat phase on love liar.
Yeah, you a fat phase on liar. Good God. Good God.
And I know, I totally felt him though. When he came for everybody that complained about how much they got paid for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand at first. I was like, dang, that's a major production. They made a lot of money off of the movie. Why didn't people get paid more? But after learning that most of that shit came out of Ice Cube's pocket, I understand why people didn't make, lots and lots of money.
Yeah, he had to pay himself back. And
But
profit
there's
also.
also royalties
Right.
that these people could be getting paid as of now. But I'm glad he didn't come at Ice Cube because I wouldn't have been able to take it. I wouldn't have been able to take it.
I feel like when he came at Kevin Hart, the reason Kevin Hart's response is not being received as well is because I don't feel like Kat said anything that was deniable when it came to Kevin Hart. I don't even think he said anything that was just super malicious when it came to Kevin Hart. He straight up just said, the movies that Kevin Hart has done have come across his desk. He said, and each time he was like, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? They moved on and they gave it to Kevin because Kevin was willing to catch and fetch it, right? That seems like it's believable. At least that sounds like his truth, right? He then stated, Kevin Hart at first said he would never wear a dress. You got to have boundaries for yourself. You have to know what you will and what you won't do. And then when he did, in fact, wear a dress, getting into Hollywood, and everybody was like, what's going on? He said he had to make his own decision. Mm-hmm. And Cat Williams, and Cat Williams was like, I'm sure you did, but you didn't have to. That wasn't the decision you was gonna make before they planted it, right? Before they gave you the idea. You wouldn't decide and you wanted to wear a dress before they suggested it, right? And I feel like that's real. That's a real ass statement to make, and that's his truth, right? So I feel like
it's real
Kevin coming out and be like, oh, that's sad and blah, 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 blah. I feel like that's why it's not being received well, because he didn't say anything malicious. He gave his opinion on that. He didn't say you were wrong for doing it. He just said he wasn't going to do it. That was his boundary. He said, no, you were willing to do it. He felt that was some step and fetch it shit. If you stand on it, then stand on it. You feel? So I feel like that's why he's not being received. I love Kevin Hart as well.
They caught, the internet going internet. Mm-hmm. They went back and found an interview.
Right, where Kevin was going in on Kat.
No, where Kevin said he would
Was on
never
drugs.
wear a dress.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I thought you were talking about the interview where Kevin was going in on Kat. Basically
Oh
said
yeah,
he's
they
on
had beef
drugs
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin said he would never wear a dress, and then my nigga, you came out wearing a dress, and what happened after that? He blew up to the Kevin Hart that everyone knows and loves today. He blew up. So it is some truth to what Kat is saying. Now, I just hope he's divinely protected, because apparently he said he's been collecting secrets for over 25 years, and he was paying people for secrets. He said, if it's two men kissing in the corner, then yes, I am going to collect that information. And Shannon was like, you was holding it yourself. He was like, no, I paid for that information and I am willing to pay. And I was just like, man, you've been out here paying for this type of information for 25 years? That's wild.
He said, he's I'm the richest man in the world, and I ain't talking about my net worth. He said, I looked up my net worth and I had that shit on me.
What?
That's wild. That is wild. I feel like we about to see a whole bunch of, they about to Wesley Snipes his ass.
Oh, your mom said, so why keep bringing it up? I think Kevin blowing up is his issue. Oh, I think...
So he didn't wear the dress. He expected every other comedian to not wear the dress too, and them to just change it. But somebody was willing to wear the dress and blew up, so he's harboring a little something on his chest because of that. Is what you thinking? Was that my mama?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, mommy. Yeah.
Hey, mama.
That makes sense. I feel like there could be a little spice on that, a little heat between that. Like I wasn't willing to do it, and you were willing to compromise your boundaries. You said you had a boundary too. Thought they was gonna have to.
That's why I think the real thing is they probably. He thought that they were.
I ain't doing that. You ain't doing that. Cool. We in cahoots, whatever. And he was like,
"We gonna stand strong against Hollywood." And you folded, my nigga. You folded. Yeah. That's probably more of what it is.
I can see that, and then seeing it as some whole shit. I love Kevin Hart, and for me personally, I don't know. If I was a man, I don't see myself being like, I can't wear a dress. Bitch, what I got on underneath it, and how much money you gonna pay me? Like when Steve Harvey said that old dude played a monkey, and he was like, "Why would y'all play a monkey?" And then he said he got like $5 million for it, and Steve was like, "I would have played the best goddamn monkey." You hear me? I'd have been, shitting in my hand and throwing it at people. Eek, eek. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, how much you going? You feel me? I know I'm not gay. I don't give a fuck what y'all think.
And that's how some people feel.
If I was a man and I wasn't gay.
But that's the other thing is like, I understand some people have what they think is called integrity when it comes to the entertainment business, but when is it just art?
Well, everybody has to come up with their own shit. You set your own boundaries, your own rules for what's good for you, what's comfortable, and what's not.
Integrity. I'm not going to compromise my integrity
because he said he wouldn't do it. He said he wouldn't do it, so he held on to his integrity. I said I wasn't going to do that, and I'm not doing it. He's questioning Kevin's integrity because you said you wasn't going to do it, and yet here you are in this blue dress.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an integrity thing. Like the separate thing with him and Kevin, yes. But when it comes to them asking him to do it, that's not an integrity issue. That you putting on a dress to do an art form, I don't think that's an integrity issue.
I think it is when you've told them you're not going to do it and they ask you anyway. I think you're challenging my integrity because you're basically calling me a liar. I just told you I'm not going to do that and you asked me to do it anyway. So if I do it, you just prove that I'm a liar. And if I don't do it, I prove that I'm telling the truth when I said I wasn't going to do it, but you still tried me.
I guess I'm having a problem with the wording. It's more of a boundary than integrity, because when I think of integrity is wrong and right, because you putting on a dress is not wrong.
When I think of integrity, I think of boundaries as well, but it's still yours. And I also think of your word. I think of the integrity part as being his word. He gave his word and he stood on the boundary that he wasn't going to wear a dress, but he put his word with that boundary by stating out loud to people, I will not do that.
Okay, so
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah,
I understand what you meant.
Placing the integrity on the actual boundary, not on the act. art.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, because the way I was looking, I was like, money is nothing wrong with him nobody putting on a dress, a man, a woman, whoever. That's not a wrong thing, but it's your boundary, and you're keeping your integrity by keeping your boundary. Okay, I just had to work through that. That was it. I just had to work through that.
Yeah, I can see if it is for a specific art that you're doing. You're playing some type of character. You're an actor. So you're acting like a woman, or you're acting like a man who is acting like a woman. Whatever it is, this is your art. This is what you do. It is. But if you have a boundary and you say, hey, I can't play that. Like he said with the rape thing on Friday. Hey, rape
now,
ain't
I get
funny.
that. That's wrong.
Yeah. He was like, rape ain't funny. No matter how you play it, how you try to word it, it's not funny, no matter who it happens to or why it happened. So I guarantee you, if you take this out, I can still make it just as funny. That's not funny. And I feel like that's integrity too. I'm not doing that and standing on it. And you're willing to risk something for it. I'm willing to risk not doing this movie. I'm willing to risk the money. I'm willing to risk the fame. I'm willing to risk the project because I'm standing on my character, my boundary, my intelligence, my integrity. I'm not doing that.
I can completely get that because rape is wrong. So I get that you having the integrity to say, nah, how about we do this instead of that? I totally get that. Because like I said, rape is wrong. But
so I feel like he had his boundaries, his words, and his his limits of what it is that he thought that he was that was within his range, right? I'm willing to do. I think.
But he read 3,000 books in a year.
Yeah.
And he run a sub 416. Woo!
Yeah, when he flipped the gender role on Shannon and was like, "Oh no, I know you're not telling me that women." What did he say? Equality.
Oh yeah, women.
About the way he dragged that damn Wanda girl.
Yes.
He said only one of us has $12 worth of jewelry on. Oh no, not live
so
on the radio.
Are you not saying women are equal?
Facts. He was like, women want to be treated. You said women can't be treated equally? Shannon was real as fuck. He said they want to be treated equal in some situations. Not all of them. With a straight face. Cat said, you want to take that out? You want to cut this? What the fuck? He looked confused.
At the beginning of the interview, I felt for Shannon. Because I couldn't imagine if somebody came in that hot sitting with us.
Yeah.
I could not imagine if somebody came that hot. Oh,
With
Lord, are we going to be on next week?
Tag Cat Williams, you want to come tell your story over here? Because I got questions. And I ain't going to drill you.
You can tell all the truths here. You can tell all this about the Illuminati and it all here, right here at Laugh Therapy. Cat
we were
Williams.
just talking earlier today. I would really love to have Marlon Wayans on our station, y'all. I don't know how we're going to get it to happen, but I figure if y'all manifest with us, we'll get him to come in. He's coming to Vegas for one of his comedy shows. I have written this man. I went straight groupie status, y'all. I did.
I wrote him too.
I wrote him on Instagram. I tried to tweet, message him.
You know what? We're going to clip this up and send it to
fan.
him. We're going to clip this up and send it to him.
We're both big fans. Because I absolutely love him, and we can tag him. And I've gotten close to people in his camp. Right, people who work with him, people who have acted with him, I've met people in his camp who tell me he's an amazing person, and I can feel it, I can sense it. And he's never in the room. He's just never there. I'm always like one person off from him, and I'm like, bro, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like our spirits need to meet. He seems like an amazing human.
Let me ask you this: where is Kat in your list of comedians?
Alive, I would say he's in my top 5. Dead or alive, I'd probably say he's still in my top 10.
Okay, so alive, where is he on your list?
I don't know, because I don't want to end up leaving nobody out. Of black comedians, specifically black?
Comedians, period.
That's too big. That's too wide of a range, because I don't want to leave nobody out. I've been doing a lot of studying, and I think there are a lot of comedians that some people may not know by name that are fucking just amazing, who just got their first Netflix special and their first Amazon special and whatnot, who are really, really, really dope comics. Like, shout out to Butch Bradley here. I feel like Butch needs a Netflix special.
Oh, that shit would be dope.
I feel like Butch Bradley needs a Netflix special.
That
he
shit
is
would be
fucking
dope.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He is not a black comic, but he is a local comic here in Las Vegas. Who has a residency at LA Comedy Club, and he's an amazing person, amazing human, but he's also just an amazing fucking comic. And I feel like Netflix need to call that man because he's funny as fuck. I don't know. I would probably put Cat at like. I'd probably put him at like 3.
Now he said he scratched off 300 comedians that were better than him when he first started. Because he watched each one of them 10 times.
Yeah.
And counted how much laughs they got.
I feel like Cat Williams don't have 24 hours in his day. Like, he done figured something out.
Cat got 56.
Yeah, Cat got double days going. He almost 100 years old. And he got time to read 10 books a day and watch 10 nigga sets 3 times a day. You got a lot of time on your hands, sir. A lot. When are you working? Like, when? That's a lot. Well, I guess that is work. Right. With
that
10
he says
kids.
He cooks, cleans, and that's why he don't got a wife.
3 bitches living in the house.
Because he cooks and cleans and studies with them and reads with them. He does all that stuff. That's why he said he didn't feel like he needed a wife after he started doing all that stuff for his 10 kids.
Yeah, like, buddy, you got mad time on your hands. You do a lot in a day. You have to.
Yeah. And it's no drugs. He don't do no hard drugs. Oh, did you catch the little? I don't know if
I ever
else...
do all of that in one day, y'all can bet your ass I'm at least on coke. Fuck that. And I ain't never had coke in my life, but if I tell you I did all that in one day,
you hit the book of sugar at least once.
Blood test me. Blood test me, please. Okay.
Did you catch the little?
Because I'm dizzy high. Go ahead. You feel me? I done snorted a truckload of something, bitch.
Blood thick as a motherfucker.
You hear me? I can cough and start a car.
Gasoline coming out your shit.
You read it for yourself and to your kids? I'm exhausted already and I don't know. Nah, absolutely the fuck not. I fuck them kids. I'm going to bed, bro. That's crazy.
Oh, okay. Did you catch where he said he smokes more than Snoop? He was like, but I don't lace my blunts with anything. It's just weed. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I saw it. But what are you getting at?
I feel like he was throwing a little something at Snoop, saying that Snoop laces his blunts with stuff. Because he was specifically talking about Snoop. He was like, I smoke more than Snoop. Mm-hmm. I think that could have just been a general for 25 years.
That could have just been a general statement. He could have just said, I smoke more than Snoop because Snoop is somebody we all know to smoke, and then just including the information that he don't lace it. I don't necessarily think that was a shot at Snoop. Snoop ain't even respond yet. But even if it was a shot at Snoop, I don't think any of us would necessarily be surprised if Snoop laced his shit with anything else.
I would be.
I wouldn't. If it was like something hard, like I don't see him doing nothing that requires needles. You feel me? Like
no, I'm just saying you lace what? Well, I don't know enough about. You can do hash.
You can do oil. You can, and that's still considered lacing it or just boosting your THC. You can still boost weed with other types of weed.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
all right.
Even then, I wouldn't think that it was some type of shade at Snoop. But you guys, y'all already know what time it is. Unfortunately, it is time for Laugh Therapy to come to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with us today. I see that some of you guys did get involved in the comments.
Somebody just
really
spamming.
Long. Oh, okay. Did get involved in the comments. You can catch us here every Thursday at 4 Pacific time. To all my Texans that hopped on here today, all of my Central Time people, thank you guys so much. We love y'all. And also remember, you guys can sponsor our show so that we can be here every week. You guys can Cash App King Me Comedy. You guys can PayPal Jay Dream Studios to sponsor Laugh Therapy and keep us coming back week after week so that you guys can continue to have conversations like these. Join us next week where we'll be talking about, I'm not sure yet, but it'll be interesting. Thank you guys and have a good night. Bye-bye.